Another damage item. And smoke bomb. Rhino assault even. And missile device specialist. I can see a world where you missile all of this into oblivion. Another level comes out and he's focusing it on different units. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He doesn't want to waste the XP on this Typhoon that's most certainly going to level next round anyway. I decide to drop a shield. I don't want the smoke bomb on my units. He does go for EMP missiles here. They're going to be redirected to these crawlers in the middle, at least for the first one. Honestly, I'm laughing at these rhinos. But maybe I shouldn't be laughing at these rhinos because they're working. And again, he's also pulling my forces apart with these fangs here. So that's not the only thing that is happening. I decide to, at this point, drop some wasps, and I want to see if I can maybe get a tower. These phoenixes, right now they are targeted to these crawlers. But there's no way that these crawlers are going to survive for any decent amount of time. They are going to get typhooned very quickly. Like they have the entire enemy army, save for some bits here and in the flank, of course, looking at them. I decide to go for extra range and damage on the marksman so I can clean the flanks up even quicker. And I do drop some crawlers here. Unfortunately, that was a lie. It seems. The phoenixes instantly turned around and started hitting these wasps. I hate when the prediction is lying to you. Can they even win? This is level 2 phoenixes. And they are splitting their fire. I guess they can win. But this is not going to get the tower in any decent amount of time. And is zero help. If the phoenixes had gone forward and not turned around, I think this match would have looked a lot differently at this stage in the game. I will eventually get the tower, but a lot of my army is going to be taken out by the time that happens. And now it's basically flank against flank. My opponent's flank against my flank. Yeah, it just gets EMP'd. There isn't a lot of chaff left, and there's a tower debuff. So yeah, it actually does work out for my side here. It was looking pretty bad, but in the end the wasps actually did come through. Orbital Javelin. That is good because it can hit through shields and it can kill some carry units. Nuke. Also worth a thought. Like if you throw a nuke into the middle and obliterate what the opponent has, there's a good chance that I can still win this. But I'm not correctly addressing my opponent's army, I think. No, I'm not correctly addressing the situation in the middle. Because everything gets pushed, or rather pulled outside, and my opponent is going in there with typhoons. This should be a very juicy javelin. He does level this. Yeah, he levels them twice. And they are still not healthy enough to survive that orbital javelin. He does now defend with missiles. A lot of missiles, apparently. And he throws some additional fangs in my flank. That is going to be super annoying to clean up. Range on the melters makes sense. I did sell the wasps. Yeah, I was not expecting them to do much. And even if they were to go, that would not have really done anything anyway, because my opponent gets the flanks so much more quickly. I decide that maybe the answer is to go into Typhoons after all. I drop some elite recruited Typhoons, give them a mech rage, and they can actually help clean up these fangs here. But at the same time, this is just super annoying. That is a fat orbital javelin, but the Typhoon here is fast enough to not really care about it all that much. That Typhoon is making the fortress shoot its fists. And is killing the fortress. That is insane. It's doing 881 damage per shot. But you can very clearly see the problem. My opponent's units are just moving through the middle. I think at this stage, if I were to play this again, I think at this stage the correct play would be putting 2 levels into each tower. It's not super expensive. It will make my opponent tank. No, it will make my towers tank. So I think that is the better play in this specific scenario if I'm ever caught in it again. Then I want to just put my units on the outside and put leveled units here, but tank behind the tower. Sledgehammers. In this game, I don't decide to do that, in case it wasn't obvious. I decide to reinforce the middle with some level 3 sledgehammers that can hopefully last a good amount of time against these typhoons. After all, each of these has about 12,000 HP. Basically, these 5 sledges are worth a fortress in health, roughly. Oil is coming down. Am I looking at fire in some way, shape or form? I think no. Nothing really dies to fire here. He does get a mech rage. Opposed to the sledgehammer mech rage and that of other units, I think, like the fangs, this one doesn't reduce the reload time. It simply improves damage. So these typhoons are hitting for over 1,000 units of damage. I do drop some additional fortresses. Yeah, I'm just going for the fortress. I'm putting them in front. I think that is a mistake. I should have put them in the rear behind the sledges. I'm going to eat some fat fire here, and he's putting the sledges in my flanks. I hate that. I said this before, and I still do, and I still stand by it. I hate people who commit heavily into flanking me. Because I'm literally being surrounded. Like, you look at this board, and it is literally being surrounded. He just dropped more oil. I guess Skill Specialist made that possible. Oil is going to land decently well here. Yeah, it takes such a long time to clean all of this up. And meanwhile, my forces in the middle are being annihilated. I think the correct call is to commit into my own flank and reinforce the towers instead of trying to fix this problem in the middle. I should be selling all of that, tanking a few seconds of tower debuff, and then just go ham, destroy my opponent. In this situation now, it's looking actually pretty decent. He's going to get that tower, and that's probably going to turn it all around. It cascades into getting another tower, then there's nothing but marksmen left. Under tower degradation, they are doing nothing good. I do survive, but it's super close. And this is where it gets super mean. Codifly is, I think it's fair to say, a much more experienced player than I am. I don't know how many wins he has, or how long he's played, or how many alternate accounts he has. He has built up a very decent board of fangs, and he drops the shield. For this round, my plan is to just missile these fangs here, but I had no space at all in my mind to think about fang shields. I do drop missiles, but I only drop one at each point. I should have dropped more. I should have dropped 2 missiles per fang pack. But I only drop 1. And I'm looking at my money and not sure where to spend it. I haven't been in this situation. It's very obvious that I haven't been in this situation. And I'm kind of fumbling my way around, not really knowing what to do. So I decide to try and maybe see if I can get something done with another flank. He hasn't reinforced this. He has a missile here. I did not notice this missile, and I'm pretty sure this missile is new. So he was really defending well against that. I decide to drop the wasps here and hope to push them through with anti-air on the wasps to kill the phoenixes pretty quickly. But I did not... in the midst of all of these icons and upgrades, I completely missed this missile, despite the radius here being very clearly visible. That is a big mistake on my part. Fang shields tank the missile hit. That means this is as bad as it was before. Smoke bomb does land. These typhoons are as fast as crawlers, literally, as normal crawlers. My flank falls flat completely, but it was close to working. Without the missiles, it would have worked. The rhinos here tanking enough to distract. And I think that it is very clear this round is going nowhere for me. Those fang shields were evil. I think I would have stood a good chance of winning this round if I had managed to kill the fangs. But now all I get is steamrolled, and yeah, I guess that is what happens when you're fighting a much more experienced opponent and you don't know what to do against their units. Ouch. Well, that shield play, that was beautiful. Once again, I hate it when people commit into my flanks, and I hate it even more when it's working. But at the same time, I cannot help but admire how effective it is. Yeah, if I were to play this one again, turtle basically in this quadrant, put your units stacked here, just throw some levels into the towers and not skimp around. They will fall, but if I can almost win many fights under 9 seconds of tower debuff each, what is my opponent going to do if he takes a much longer time killing the towers and I only get like, yeah, 5 seconds of debuff each, or maybe even only 3? And if the game goes enough rounds, we are at round 10, it starts being relatively cheap to just click all of these buttons. It is a really weird game. I like how this flank, without the missiles, would actually have worked out. These crawlers existed to eat one of the missiles, but it would not have worked even if he hadn't dropped an additional missile in the rear here. They would have been able to take care of the phoenixes, I imagine, and died to that missile if there hadn't been one back here already. Yeah, he was really good knowing what I was about to do. I was laughing at these rhinos. I was no longer laughing in the end. Well, I was kind of laughing because that was just beautiful playing. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope this game inspires you to do some plays of your own. Just if you're playing against me, please don't do that. I hate it. But at the same time, it's effective, so I can't blame anyone. I can't take away anything from this victory of my opponent. Until next time, everybody.